Two Gen Z voters, chairman of the RNC Youth Advisory Council and author of One Generation Away, Brilyn Hollyhand, and student at George Washington University and vice chair of GW College Republicans, Karen Laffey. Good morning to you both. So, Brilyn, that survey showing that most young people are not enthusiastic about the two candidates. Do you think you'll see a lot of people your age decide not to vote this year? And if so, who does that hurt more?
No, I think my generation is going to show up to vote as well as tune in tonight. Listen, Charlotte, my peers and I know that this is a 3-to-1 debate. And if my generation of first-time voters have the opportunity to actually ask some real questions to Joe Biden tonight, here's what we ask him. First of all, why are you continuing these endless wars with American taxpayer dollars when we're already $35 trillion in debt? Maybe why did you rescind Trump's border policies on day one in office, directly causing the deadly border crisis we're seeing today? Even the question of if it's the economy, stupid, as Biden likes to say, what are you doing to restart America's economic engine since he's really sat on his hands for the past 4 years? And finally, President Biden, why do you want to raise taxes on working class Americans by letting Trump's tax cuts expire? Charlotte, Joe Biden has failed my generation, plain and simple. My peers and I see this, and we're going to be watching for that tonight.
You make a lot of great points. So, Karen, let's take a look at some of the numbers comparing spring of 2020 to spring of 2024. Biden led Trump in 2020 with young voters 51% to 28%. Now, 4 years later, Biden's lead has shrunk to 45%, with Trump at 37%. Why do you think Biden is losing support with young people?
Well, look, I think it's almost common sense. You look at almost every policy President Biden's engaged with. He's proactively failed on all of them. And I think most of the policies that he's been least effective with hurt the young generation very strongly. Look at Brilyn had to say, it's the economy. I'm a young kid. Your dollar's not going as far as it was 4 years ago. I looked at a recent metric I saw in the news. You want to go to McDonald's, a hamburger Happy Meal up 97%. Taco Bell, you want to get a burrito up 120%. The cost of living is crushing young people. Coming out of college, you want to rent a house. You can't afford it anymore. Taxes are up, and especially young people, I think they're uninspired by President Biden. If your tax dollars are going to places that and ideas you're not supporting, young people, I don't think they're going to support them as much this time around.
So, Brilyn, tonight many are wondering what kind of President Joe Biden we're going to see tonight, if he might have one of those senior moments. Are your peers going to watch live tonight? Are they interested in this debate?
Oh, they 100% are. And as we've been traveling the country speaking on college campuses and now that school's out speaking at youth events, they're excited for this. They're excited to see what kind of Joe Biden shows up tonight, what kind of drugs they can put him up to. But also they're excited to see President Trump. They're excited to see somebody that will actually defend their generation, defend this nation on the debate stage against who we think is the villain against this country. Listen, Charlotte, all President Trump has to do tonight is walk out on that debate stage and in his opening remarks to Biden, point to him and say, the last time that we were on this stage together, you lied to the American people and told them that your son committed no legal actions, didn't sell secrets to China, the laptop story was disinformation, and you knew nothing about anything and had no involvement. But since then, your friends at the New York Times have confirmed everything you disproved, and your son is now a convicted felon. To start things off, where you admit to the American people that you lied to their face, that's what my peers want to see, and that's what we hope to see out of President Trump tonight.
And Karen, when we talk about Gen Z voters and young voters, we're talking 18 to 24 years old. So do many of your friends, your peers, these young voters, do they see Biden as being too old to continue being the president for another 4 years? He'll be 86 years old when he leaves office.
I mean, 100%. I think he's one of the more uninspiring candidates we've ever seen. And like you mentioned before, I know all my friends, they'll be watching tonight. And I mean, the one advice I'd have for President Trump is just be yourself. I think he's a likable guy. Young people find him funny. They enjoy his presence, I think, on the stage. And a factor I like to bring up with a lot of my liberal friends is the Teddy Roosevelt word of the bully pulpit of the office. President Biden has projected weakness time and time again. And if you're on that stage as the president projecting weakness, you look at the Her report, he's an elderly man, as it was detailed, very uninspiring, and 100% my friends think he's far past his age to be president.
Well, I hope that former President Trump is watching right now, because you guys have offered some great advice. Brilyn, Karen, thank you guys so much for joining me this morning. Appreciate it.
Thanks
for having us.
And make sure to catch our